Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this photograph and asked how to do this. This will be very simple. We'll start off with the key. I'm just going to draw an ellipse, not really pertaining to what size it is right now. To make this exact copy, I need to make a rectangle next to it. So we're going to take a rectangle about that size, and we want it in the center, so we're going to go CE, and then holding down the control button, we can move that rectangle over to about there. Now what we need to do, and I'm just kind of thinking about this, we need to take that right there, and then maybe take away this node is, well, what we need to do is take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. That way it becomes one unit. Then we're going to left click, right click, and we're going to take our shape tool and we're going to get rid of that node and see what happens. I like that. I like that. So that's our key. Now we're going to take the other one, hit delete, and we're going to draw another rectangle. We want it in the center, so we're going to grab both of them and go CE or EC, it doesn't really matter. Then taking this one and moving it over. It could probably be a little bit longer. We are going to take and convert that rectangle into a curve. Take our shape tool, grab these two nodes and right click and add a node. Now it added one there, we can take it away. And then I'm going to take this node and I'm just going to kind of extend it out. And I'm actually going to make it offset a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and take my virtual segment delete key and delete this. I'm going to take my shape tool and grab those two nodes and right click and add. I can add them up here. I'm going to add a few more, about like that. They should be aligned, so now I can just move one node up at a time. And you're going to want to do maybe like every other one. I don't like the way that looks, but it's good enough. Then maybe make one of them a little bit taller. We don't want it too tall. And then maybe make this, you can always click on your line and add that node back. That doesn't look too bad. I don't like, for some reason, this looks a little funny. So we'll take this node and let's take this node and right click and turn it into a curve. And then we can take that node and curve that key a little bit so it doesn't look so funny. Maybe take this one and right click, turn it into a curve. Then we can take it and just kind of give that key a little bit of a shape, kind of like that. And you can play around with that. Now we need to take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in, because what Smart Fill does, it makes a total new object and it seals all that up. So now we're going to take our Smart Fill, move it out of the way, take our key, then we can left click, no fill, right click outline, make sure it's a hairline. And now let's draw our heart. And we can, under common shapes or basic shapes, holding down the control button to make your heart, and you can make it whatever size you want. And there's really two trains of thought here on where you're going to place this, maybe a little bit more, depending on what your text is going to look like. Now what I would do is just take your Smart Fill tool and fill that in, and then move it out of the way, and we can left click, right click, and now we can take this away, and there's your two items. Now we need to put they actually use an oval. That's not a bad way to do it. We're just going to draw an oval, put it in here to put one key to, and then I would hit the plus key on the keyboard, and you could rotate this thing 90 degrees. At least they're going to be the same, and just put it virtually. And you could do the same thing. We could go EC, it would put it in the center, and then take this and move it over. And then that's all there's to it. And then put your text in there. They've got a text to path on here. That's very easily, just take your 2-point curve line and go from like right there to like right there. And then that'll be your path. We can actually change that if we want to, bring that down a little bit, bring this up a little bit. Now, I like moving stuff out of the way so the other lines won't be in the way. Let's make this thing, it's less than 4 inches, so we're gonna make it 4. Take our line and move it over. Let's just use that same word, Linda. We're gonna go ahead and use that font, that's good enough. You don't have to put it close to your path, but it's easier to zoom in. Go to text to path, and put it on your path. Now, if you notice it's upside down, that's because the way I drew that line. We need to take this, select them both, right click and reverse the subpath so it'll be going left to right. Now, if we take our name, text to path, put it on there, and then you can put it wherever you kind of want. Then select it all. Of course, I would use a different font. Go up to object, break the text apart, and without moving it, nudge it back. So now you have, and you could, we might be a little bit too tall to the top. You could minutely move this down. Then you could write whatever you want to on the key, just like standard. And ironically, well, not ironically, they're going to fit like a matching set when you cut them out. Pretty cool idea. Now, you saw that my hole moved. It's because it's 2 parts, so we could smart fill it or weld it. Well, we can't weld it, won't work. So that's why I always use a smart fill tool. Because if you fill that in, move that new smart fill away, left click, right click, and now this is all one object, and it'll move all as one object. Same thing here. This is not an object. So you could take the Linda and move it out of the way, grab all that. Well, let's just smart fill it. Smart fill that, nudge it over. Take that one, left click, right click, and then get rid of all this. And then that way, this is all in one piece. I hope that helped them a little bit. And thank you for watching. Move the Linda back over. And see, I moved in this case, it doesn't really matter. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.